Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alice Butler. I am 22 years old, signed to IMGLA for now. I don't know how much longer my contract is going to be lasting, but I have been signed to IMG now for 2 years. My acne started about like January of this year. I feel like it got the most uncontrollable, and I was turning to any person I could. I was turning to dermatologists that I could afford. I was turning to estheticians that I could afford. I was turning to skin specialists. I was turning to places like TikTok, different YouTubers, just seeing what they do. Right now it's the morning time and I'm having like my morning smoothie. I've had my bone broth already. And if you're wondering what I'm looking at, I have a camera that like flips, so I'm just making sure that I'm focused so that it's not too hard for me to edit later. But I did want to get into some things just for my first YouTube video. This is me introducing myself, introducing what I want to make my YouTube channel about. I know there's a lot of YouTube channels out there. There's a lot of people also that struggle with acne, that have healed their acne naturally, that have gone on Accutane, that have done X, Y, and Z to heal their acne either naturally, medically, anything that they do that works for them. And I will repeat this constantly throughout my YouTube channel. Everybody is different. And we know that. We know that there's different races in the world. We know that there's different types of people in the world, even different zodiac signs. But, sometimes when it comes to having acne, you'll turn to anybody who has acne and be like, if you have acne and I have acne, then there must be some similarity and maybe something you do can help me. And I hope maybe something I share will help somebody out there. But I'm not saying that I have the cure for acne. Obviously, I do not. If I did, I would not be struggling the way that I am struggling. Literally this morning, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and was just bawling my eyes out. Honestly, I was bawling my eyes out. It was really sad. Um, but yeah, I do get sad. I know that I try and be as positive as I can, especially on TikTok. That's where my acne journey on social media started, and I just became kind of annoyed with editing my videos on TikTok because I would make like 10-minute long videos of just me either ranting or doing a skincare routine or whatever. And one thing that I have noticed is trying to keep it as simple as possible is something that truly helps. Like, your skin is the largest organ in your body or on your body, and it knows what to do. It knows how to heal itself. It knows exactly what the problems are, and especially when you're struggling with high amounts of inflammation like I'm struggling with, especially right here, it becomes so painful and you think that anything you put on top is going to help, and sometimes it does and sometimes it irritates it even more. But for me, I take that chance because I'm not an esthetician, I'm not a dermatologist, I'm literally just a girl. I'm just a girl that had her career interrupted, or basically her dream career interrupted because she started struggling with acne, and she is me. And I know a lot of people, acne is a long range. It could go from either you're just hitting puberty and you're literally going through it, or you could be 30, you could be 40, you could be 50. Acne has no respect. It's just like I'm coming after you. So I do have some points, and I did want to talk about my modeling contract because for me, this is my YouTube channel, so I'm going to talk about what got interrupted in my life, and maybe you'll feel a little bit better about having to go to school or work for struggling with your acne, because I'm still trying my best to work on my modeling career even with this stunt in my life, like this little interruption. But so basically, about 2 years ago, when I turned 20, I was not on my birthday, but around Halloween time. My birthday is September 5th, and I live in San Luis Obispo temporarily with my boyfriend while he's in school because my schooling is online. I'm going to school to become a real estate agent. I am just doing online courses and studying up for my exam that I'm planning to take next year, 2024, during the summer. And honestly, I have tried so many things. I know I'm doing a lot of jumping and hooping, but that's just my life. I graduated high school and I literally did not know what I wanted to do with my life, and I just went to, excuse me, I went to a community college, and for the first couple of months, it felt like, oh, okay, like I could totally do this. Like it's basically just like high school. And, the more I went into it, I felt like, when you have to deal with things like financial aid and different things like that, I felt like I hit a block. I felt like, oh my gosh, like I can't do this. And even then, I felt stressed out then. And I felt like, oh my God, I can't do this. And I stopped. And, even COVID happened. And I felt like that was kind of a blessing in disguise for me. I know a lot of people have had tragic events happen because of COVID. And I feel for you guys and I send my love. But for me, it was kind of a blessing, and I was able to kind of just take a step back and not take life so seriously. Like, I was like, okay, like, if I can't go to school, all schooling was moved on to online. And for me, I didn't want to do that. I really just wanted to go onward and forward. I wanted to do that. So I basically started working at a hardware store in Malibu. The name is Anawal. Love you, Anawal. You were my start. But yeah, I learned a lot from myself at Anawal. I know that I'm a very hard worker. That's one thing about me. I'm a very hard worker. I love working and I love talking to people. So for me, Anawal was kind of like the light in the end of the tunnel in that tunnel, because I went down another tunnel, don't worry. The light at the end of that tunnel, because I was like, okay, I can do this. I was working a full-time job at 18. I was, during the peak of COVID, so I was wearing a mask every day, coming home every day. I started paying rent to my mom, um, which taught me a lot of responsibility. And for me, it kind of became something where I felt very pressured to grow up super, super fast. Like, and I've always had like certain things in my life where I feel like I wasn't like other kids. Like, I didn't get to hang out with my friends a lot. I didn't get to, go to the cool parties, and that created a lot of problems for me, especially in high school. I ended up going to the mental hospital, and that's another video that I will definitely talk about, and leave me a comment down below if you would want to hear more about that. But that experience was honestly, it set a trajectory for my life to be very emotional, even though I was already emotional. but more in tune with my emotions, and not turn to substances to take away pain, because if anything, they inflict more pain and add more hardship than necessary. But anyway, yeah, back to NLL. I was working very hard and I felt very pressured to grow up. I was paying rent, I was, hanging out with my friends still, but I was working a full-time job, paying rent, and I ended up rekindling a relationship with somebody that I've known since I was 14. And we had an on and off relationship. He's always meant a lot to me, and that's one thing about me. When I love somebody, I love them wholeheartedly. I love them with my entire being. Like, I can't imagine life without them, and then when I do have to imagine life without them, I can't imagine life, basically. But even with that, we ended up moving in together. He let me move in with him and his family, which was honestly a very sweet thing. It was a very amazing thing. I never thought I would see an opportunity where I can live with my boyfriend, until I was like married or had kids or whatever. And we're in our early 20s living together. He's in his master program now. When we first moved in together, I went back to school. And so basically, I've done community college twice, and it just felt like I was crying every single day. Like, when we moved here to San Luis Obispo, I was just like so sad. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. Obviously, I didn't know what I was doing, and I felt like I depended on him a lot. But at the end of the day, in relationships, I know a lot of people make it seem like it's super bad if you depend on somebody. Like, oh my gosh, if you depend on them, what if one day they disappear or they don't want you anymore? And, I've figured it out before. We've broken up before, and I've figured it out. So I know I'll figure it out if it's worse, knock on wood. But I know deep down that if we are consciously trying in our relationship and helping each other through hard times, then I don't see a reason why. It's not like he gives me more than I give him, and it's never about keeping score. But for me, it was definitely a really hard time where I felt like I had no worth, and I felt like, because that's another thing growing up not in a comfortable financial situation can do to you. You basically feel very burdened by all the things that seem normal, like going to the dentist, going to the doctor, going to college, trying to better your life. I'm gonna put some chapstick on. I'm chatting up a lot, so I need some moisture on my lips. This is the BioEssence Squalane Rose Vegan Lip Balm. They just add vegan in there because they want to charge more, but whatever. I I definitely feel blessed. I feel blessed in my situation, but that doesn't stop any of those voices in my head saying, you don't deserve this isn't right for you, he's gonna leave you. Which, I mean, like I said, if he left me, if we ended up breaking up, knock on wood, I would figure my life out. I would figure my next steps out. That's just how I'm built. But growing up not financially secure, I saw my mom worry a lot. I saw her work a lot. I saw my siblings and I helping her a lot, as a mother, and she is from El Salvador. She came here when she was 16 and, ended up having 4 kids, and she's married to my stepdad now, raising my little sister. But it becomes very hard. It does become very hard, and I would be a liar if I said that I don't feel bad for myself. Like, I feel bad. I feel bad for anybody who has had to grow up really fast and not get to enjoy, like, the little things. But my mom, and this is nothing bad about her, she tried so hard. and she loved us so much, and I love her so much, and I like that could be a whole other video also. Like I love my mom, and I saw her struggle, and that made me not want to struggle, you know. And being in your early 20s, especially moving away from her, when I started struggling with acne, after I got food poisoning, that was probably my first time getting sick, in a long time, in a really long time. And I just, like, literally, I remember crying to myself when I got the food poisoning. I was like, I just want my mom. Like, I just want my mom. And I felt bad to go back to my mom. And I felt like I couldn't, like, go back because, like, I felt that I left her when she needed me, and I was paying rent to her for a reason, you know, so that she could work less, so that she didn't have to make as much money, so that she was getting more help than just my stepdad and her paying for the house. But as an 18-year-old kid, you kind of sort of feel like, why do I have to have all these responsibilities when I don't even know what I want to do with my life? And then I got the opportunity to model when I came back when I was 18. That was before I even got the food poisoning. I'm going way ahead. I'm going way ahead. But so I came back, um, 2021. I was living here with my boyfriend because he was finishing up. He was in his junior year, or his junior year of college, and I wanted to go back home to celebrate Halloween with my friends. And I ended up going, and we had a great time. We were going to the clubs, and I was already 20. I was already 21 by that Halloween, so I was feeling very good. I was like, yes, like we're gonna have fun. And one of my best friends, ended up bringing one of his really good friends from middle school, and this was my first time meeting her, and I remember we spent like the whole night together, and we ended up back at my mom's house. I asked my mom, like, hey mom, can my friends and I come over? Like, I just felt bad to go to my boyfriend's mom's house with all my friends, you know, especially because we were drinking, and I feel more comfortable around my own mom. So I was like, yeah, like, can we come over? And she was like, yeah, like, come over. Like, you guys can sleep in your old bed, and like, someone can sleep on the couch, you know, because it was four of us. And my two of my friends ended up. My friend that brought his friend ended up sleeping on the couch with my other friend, and me and the girl that he brought ended up. We were like talking for like hours in the nighttime. We were just like talking a lot, and told her a lot about my life. I told her, you know, and for me, I've always been somebody. I am, and this is not me being conceited at all. This is just facts. This is straight facts. I am very tall, very light skinned. My ethnicity is Salvadorian and Irish. So for me, I just felt like I never really belonged anywhere. Like, I didn't really fit in with my family, but I fit in with their struggle because we all were raised in the same household. But for me, like, I was like this sounds so like conceited, so vain, whatever. But I'm like, I'm meant for greater. Like, I really feel like my whole family deserves better, and I feel like I'm gonna be the person to give them better. Like, I want to be the person to give them better. Like, I was obviously blessed with this body for a reason. I was blessed with these looks for a reason. Like, I'm not saying I'm the most beautiful person in the world, but at the end of the day, I ended up getting the modeling contract. But let me tell you how I got it. So I ended up mentioning, and the girl was actually telling me, she was like, oh, like, you should model, like, you're so pretty, like, you like fit the mold, you fit the mold. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I wish, but you know, modeling is very much a world where, in anything, in this day and age, it's all about who you know. If you want to be something, it's all about who you know. And for me, it was very much like, I don't know anybody in that world. Like, I don't know anybody in that world. My mom growing up, she's a housekeeper, and we would help her clients all the time. She has clients in Malibu, and literally spent my summers in Malibu, but not like what you think, like not learning how to surf or, you know what I mean? I was just helping my mom, you know, have the cleaning supplies, get all the cleaning supplies, make sure her bottles are filled and all these things. But I was just like, yeah, like I wish, but I don't know anybody. And she was like, well, I know a mother agent in New York. She wanted to sign me, but I don't really want to model. And she is gorgeous. Like she's taller than me. Her body is nicer than mine. Her face is nicer than mine. She doesn't have acne. Let me just say that. But she's so like not only like beautiful on the outside, she's so beautiful on the inside. I don't really talk to her anymore, but she's just literally she changed my life, and it was just an opportunity I thought I would never see. I thought I would never like it's something I would never imagine. It's just something that I would dream of, you know, something I would dream of. And for her to give me that contact, like I just felt so blessed. I was like, oh my gosh, like thank you so much. I ended up messaging those people literally within the next week. I was already back in slow, but they were like, okay, like submit images, and if we like it, we'll ask for a FaceTime call, and then we'll send you over a contract. And the job of a mother agent is to basically set you up with a real agency. So if you end up making money at the end of the day and you're signed with a real agency and a mother agency, they both get profit from whatever you make. But in the modeling world, like I've gotten offers before I started breaking out, and it was like almost $15,000 for a shoot or a campaign or um, a runway show. Like I was like in shock. I've never seen that amount of money, and like been like, if I work like just like this many hours, I'll get that much money. You're joking. You're joking. It didn't end up happening for me, which is fine. I'm like, it will happen one day. That's something I put on my dream board, on my wish board, on my freaking mood board. It was like, this is going to happen for me one day. I'm going to work for these amazing brands, and I'm going to be able to showcase myself. But I had to be able to show myself on social media first, which is something that was really hard for me. It was really hard for me, but cut to the mother agency finding me two agencies in LA. One was called, I forget what it was called. I didn't end up signing with them. They like did a FaceTime call with me, and they were like, sorry. I think they told me in that FaceTime, they're like, I'm sorry, I don't think that this is gonna work out. And I was like, okay, very disappointing. Very like, damn it, like what was it about me? And especially during on FaceTime calls, like I'm so awkward. I'm like, and like I swear, like even here, I'm like, am I inverted? Is this how my face looks in real life? I'm confused. Is one eyebrow higher than the other? Like, should I get Botox? And I'm 20. I was 21 at the time. I was 21. I was already thinking about Botox and different ways to make my face look better. Oh my gosh, like I feel like that's where it kind of stemmed from. Just a little bit, all that anxiety of having to, oh, what are these people thinking of me? What are these people thinking of me? And I remember getting the IMG offer, and they were like, they didn't even want to do a FaceTime call. They wanted to see me in person. So I ended up going to the person who's my agent now. Yeah, my agent. And I was like, agent manager. I'm still confused with all the terminology, all the like tiers of people you have to go through. But I ended up going to her house, and we were we were like having a little chat. She was asking me a bunch of questions about myself, you know, asking me what my interests are, like what my family life is like, just very base level questions. It felt like a job interview, sort of, you know. Um, Asking me how tall I am, how much I weigh, you know, normal for modeling agencies. And I've always been really confident about how much I weigh and how tall I am, even though I got bullied for like my entire life for being too skinny. Like I honestly I don't know why I'm this thin. I eat. Trust me, I eat. Like Thanksgiving dinner, that's probably my favorite time of year because I'm eating. You know, but they always have to make sure, like, is this really how much you weigh? Are you making yourself weigh this much? This and this and that. And for me, I'm always like, no, like, I wish I weighed a little bit more. Like, I wish, because even then, um, some of my offers that I've gotten from IMG, the people, when I wouldn't get an offer, like they wouldn't accept me. Like they would offer it, but then they would either see me in person or see my digitals, and they would be like, I asked my agent like, why did they say no, or like why didn't it work out, and she would be like not in a mean way, but just to like let me know, because at the end of the day, like if I don't know, then I'm just gonna be wondering, and I'd rather like her say something mean, what she perceives as mean, or what most people would think, oh, that's like really rude to say, like, but I would just rather know. So basically, they just said like she's too thin, and I'm like, I'm too thin. Like I'm too thin. What? Like I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense. But I guess like maybe they're looking for somebody to fit the other mold where they want the inclusivity mold, and I don't fit that mold. But I guess now I do. Like, but they don't want anybody with acne. So that's just a whole other video again. But ended up leaving that day from her house. We took some pictures. She took some pictures of me, and that was before I even had like, I probably had like maybe one breakout on my face because it was almost that time of month. But like she probably in her head was like, oh, that probably goes away. Like that's probably like the worst of her acne. I leave that day and she told me like, I think it's gonna be a really good fit. Like you're definitely gonna be hearing from us again. And that was a more positive response than I got from the other agency that I talked to. So I was like, oh, fingers crossed. Like I was so happy. And my boyfriend was like waiting down there because he had dropped me off. And he was like waiting there because he knew it wasn't gonna take that long. And I got in the car and I was like, oh my gosh, like I think it's gonna be so good. Like I think they're gonna like sign me, like this and that. I end up getting signed within the next year. I'm going on a bunch of test shoots and like making my own test shoots, and I end up getting posted on their website. And that day was like probably like the most surreal moment because I was literally on the same page as like Gigi Hadid and Kendall Jenner. Like I was like, are you, this is not real. This is real. Like this is real. And it kind of like started to kick in like the imposter syndrome when I would get offers, but then they would quickly like be taken away because like they didn't really want me and like I mean, they didn't really like the way I looked or whatever. And I was just like, oh, like what else can I do? Like what can I do? And something my agent told me was, you know, making a social presence and making yourself like more used to like talking to strangers. I think that will help because for me, I was used to talking to strangers, especially for my like my jobs. Like I would always be around strangers, I'd be talking to them, I'd be very friendly. But it's harder when you're trying to like sell yourself. Like that sounds so wrong, but like at the end of the day, modeling is selling a version of yourself. Like art is selling something that you make. Fashion is selling an idea that you have. You know, like there, it's all about marketing yourself and trying to find your niche and your people and people that want to see you. Because it's like now brands are looking for people that people can look up to, but that people are already looking up to. I feel like very much in the early 90s when those like supermodels like Naomi Campbell and the fashion designers or the photographers, they found the it girls. And now you can make yourself an it girl, which is like mind boggling to me. And I was like, oh, I have had all these opportunities. Like, why didn't I start earlier? Like, I could have already been doing what I want to do, which I got really hard on myself for. I would just constantly be nervous. I would always like be putting myself down, like, oh, I'm so skinny, like I need to gain more weight. Or then I would start gaining weight and be like, oh, it's not like I'm not gaining the type of weight I want to gain. And then I would be like, oh, like I need to work out. And then it's like, oh, but I don't want to look too muscular. I don't like, you know what I mean? Like it just becomes such a double-edged sword. And I started to not be grateful for the things that I already had and the things that I offer. And I started to question myself a lot. And that was something I felt was very toxic. But it was hard to get out of that toxicity when I created it for myself, because not once did my agency tell me, like, you need to change yourself. You need to change. The only thing they said when they said along those lines was when I started breaking out. They're like, hey, like, I don't think it's the best option for you to continue going to go-sees and your acne getting bad, or having to go put makeup on and, you know, that makes your acne worse, or just different things like that, which made me feel even worse. But I was like, oh, like, I don't know how long this is going to take. And they're like, we're going to put you on a hold, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know how long this is going to take, and I don't know when it's going to go away. And like a year in, we're a year in now from that conversation, and here I am with even worse acne from when I had that conversation with them. So I'm just like, great. Like literally great. Like I'm like, oh my gosh. Which is the main reason I started my TikTok, because I was like, I need to talk about it. I need to talk about it because I'm not trying to put IMG down. I'm not trying to say like, oh my gosh, like they don't let me model with acne. Like at the end of the day, like I get it. Like they want to promote people who are prepared for that level of anxiety and stress, and I already have anxiety and stress because of my acne, and then imagine adding on top like going to see big name fashion designers and I'm like breaking out. Like they're not gonna feel bad for me. They're not gonna like, oh, I'm so sorry, like here's this job because I just feel so bad for you. Like they're not gonna do that. They're gonna be like, on to the next. Actually, the next girl, her skin looks a lot better, even though she may be a little bit shorter, or you know, she's actually taller and her skin looks better. So that works out better for us. So it's really all about appreciating yourself, which I've just been trying to do more and more. But it becomes so hard because that I feel was such a hard thing for me. And then cut to now. Now we're back. Now I can talk about the food poisoning. So New Year's of 2023, like it was literally my boyfriend and I did the countdown at our old place, and that was when he was on winter break from his senior year of college, and we were doing the countdown, like watching the TV, and we were having a glass of wine, and we ordered food, which we order food a lot because like that's something I noticed also from moving out to now, like basically living alone, like, or living with my boyfriend, you know. Like I'm not a cook, and not only am I not a cook, I'm either working a full-time job or a part-time job. I'm trying to study to make sure that I can pass my real estate exam. Like I get it. I get the struggle. I get it. Like you are busy and you have to cook. Like I totally understand my mom. Like my mom was working not only a full-time job, like basically two full-time jobs growing up, and nobody could help her. Nobody could freaking clean the house for her. Nobody can make her bed. I would be pissed. I would be livid. I'd be so mad. I'd be like, you are ungrateful. Everybody in this house is ungrateful. Nobody works as hard as I do. And I'd be like, you're right. You are right. Because now I'm literally only 22 and I'm like, I have nobody else to like hey, could you cook for me? Because I have like X, Y, and Z to do. No. Like, so that's where DoorDash, Uber Eats, all these places come in handy. But then you also don't know what food you like to get. That's where another stressor comes in. Like, oh, like what should I eat today? How should I eat healthy? But I have to eat out. And then you still want to be able to enjoy yourself. Like, it was New Year's Eve and we were drinking a little bit. Like, I wanted wings. I wanted wings. My boyfriend wanted wings. We wanted wings. And there was a wing stop. Cut to now, the wing stop is shut down here. And I bet because more than one person got food poisoning. Am I right? But anyway, we ended up getting Wingstop. I got like the corn from there. We got the fries, the ranch. This was literally, I literally had maybe one pimple on my face, and this one pimple was like not going away. Oh shit. So, okay. My battery died, and I forgot where I left. Oh! Okay, so basically, the food poisoning, we had Wingstop. It was good. I remember feeling a little bit off after, but it was the nighttime already. We stayed up to midnight to watch the ball drop and everything, and we ended up just brushing our teeth, going to bed. Woke up in the morning, my stomach was in shambles. It was, I've never felt that way in my life. I've never felt that way in my life. I don't wish it upon my worst enemy. I I don't even want enemies anymore after that. I'm pretty sure somebody put voodoo on me to make me feel that way. I was just like, oh, I literally felt that way for the next month. For the next month, I ended up, and I went to a doctor. I went to a doctor. They just prescribed me anti-nausea and iron because the doctor was like, okay, how much do you weigh? Oh, that's not good for you, because your body's trying to get rid of whatever's in it, and like your weight can't support what it needs to get rid of, and you're not like I couldn't eat, I couldn't go to the bathroom. I literally like I was struggling so much, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like what am I supposed to do? I'm literally shivering right now. It's so cold in here. But anyway, okay, so like they were like, oh yeah, like you weigh too little, so I'm gonna prescribe you iron because you're, because I was also on my period. I was also on my period. So not only was I not being able to use the bathroom, throwing up constantly, not being able to eat, I was on my period and I was losing a ton of blood. Literally since my first period, before I even lost my virginity, my periods were like Satan himself came to earth to curse me and then went back down. That's literally what my period felt like every single time. It was so bad. So I was so nauseous. I just felt so terrible. Like my life was like, at one point I was like, I think I'm gonna die. I remember waking up one night and I was like just sweating. I literally had like night sweats also. Like I would have to just sleep as much as possible. And when I was going through that, I was already breaking out a little bit before. But when I was going through that, my skin looked really good. Like I wasn't washing my face. I literally couldn't muster up the courage to shower half the time, and I was just like trying to keep myself awake when I could be, and then like sleep as much as I could so that I could heal. And it was just terrible. It was just so bad. So basically, he prescribed me iron because he was like, "Oh, your iron levels are probably in shambles because you're losing blood and you're not being able to eat anything. So that's not supporting the blood that you have to lose." And I'm like, "Great. My body can't support itself. Like, great." And so I get the iron pills, I get the anti-nausea pills. Excuse me. Which the anti-nausea pills actually work pretty well for me because I was so nauseous. I literally had to keep a trash can. I am burping. But I had to keep a trash can near my bed because I literally couldn't even make it to the bathroom half the time. I was just so sick. I felt so terrible. I just felt so bad. And then cut to February when I started to feel a little bit better. I started to be able to use the bathroom. I started to be able to eat more, all that. And I just started getting more nervous. I started getting more like that increased my anxiety, like cranked it up about another 100%. Like I was already at like probably like a 50%. That added another 100. I was like at 150% anxiety levels. Like I was just like anxiety to eat, anxiety to use the bathroom, anxiety to travel anywhere. If I had to eat something, I was scared that I was gonna go to another restaurant where they were gonna freaking poison me. I was just scared. I was just so scared. And then that doesn't help my acne situation because I'm just like sitting there not being able to trust anything, not even being able to trust myself half the time. And then it's like, okay, well, then I have to take in control. Like, I have to get in control and I have to cook for myself and I have to do this. And when I had just mentioned, I'm either working a part-time job, working a full-time job, trying to study, cleaning my place, trying to not mentally fall apart more than half the time because I'm just so sad that I can't model because I already had like my acne was probably just just these pimples, you know? And then add all this to it. Then add this to it. Are you serious? That looks like I'm ill. It literally looks like I do drugs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, which is another thing I want to touch on, but I don't know if this video is the right place to do it. Like, I haven't even talked about this on my TikTok because I know a lot of young people follow me on my TikTok, but I'm pretty sure even younger people are probably going to watch my YouTube or I don't know, but I have smoked a lot of weed. You probably thought I was going to say something different. I've smoked a lot of weed and tobacco, both. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I would probably still enjoy it if I didn't quit like 2 months ago because even when I was going through what I was going through with the food poisoning, I had cut down a little because I was like, oh, but the weed honestly did help me with my nausea, even more than the nausea pills. Like I would take the nausea pills if I was like out traveling or like because my boyfriend and we go in the car from LA to San Luis Obispo. But yeah, I liked smoking weed. I would like I said I would probably still be enjoying it if I literally like I would think to myself I'd be like wow like I because I didn't stop even when I was going through the food poisoning I didn't stop and I was like maybe I should give it a break and I would do it less and less and less and then I went from THC to CBD. I was smoking only CBD less and less, like literally one bowl a day, and then I would start getting paranoid and anxious and all these feelings I never wanted to feel. So then I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be smoking weed, which is another reason I started taking this Symbiotica adrenal tonic because I was just like, I really can't do life without some sort of like supplement to help my anxiety and my depression and my stress levels and like I've said turning to drugs is not the answer. It's not the answer. Turn to Jesus first. But like I like for me it just like and this is you could ask anybody who does drugs why you do it. It feels good. It feels good. And I literally, I would say I quit cold turkey, but like I was saying, I was doing it less and less and less and less to the point where I was just like, honestly, I think I should just stop. So I stopped. Did this stop? Did this stop? Did it stop? No, it didn't. It didn't freaking stop. So obviously that wasn't the freaking answer. But I still stopped, and I'm still stopping, I've put my hands up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna eat as clean. I'm gonna live as clean as possible because obviously I did something wrong, either in the past life, some point in this life, like somewhere along the lines, I messed up. So yeah, and that's something that'd be so funny because people would be like, before I started breaking out, or even when I did start breaking out, people would be like, "Oh, what do you do for fun?" And I'd be like, "Smoke weed." Like before I quit, also, like I would, like in my head, I would be like, "Smoke weed." Like that's not a role model. That's not something to look up to. Like I don't know. Like to each their own. If you want to do it. Don't just not do it because I didn't do it, and then your life is miserable because my life's also freaking miserable. I'm not saying that it took away all the misery by stopping to do it. It didn't take away the misery by doing it either. So you have to sit in your misery. You have to sulk. Not feel bad for yourself. I mean, you can sometimes. Literally this morning I was crying. I was like, what am I doing wrong? I have silk pillowcases. I drink bone broth. I eat healthy. I cut out dairy. I drink flax milk now. Like, are you serious? What am I doing wrong? Maybe I'm stressing about it too much. Maybe I'm not enjoying the little things. Maybe I'm not enjoying drinking my bone broth. If you enjoy drinking bone broth, I know you're lying. Maybe the only bone broth that I would enjoy drinking was like when my mom would make like albandriga soup, or like she would just make any type of chicken noodle soup. She could cook. That's one genetic like gene that did not get passed down, and it's not for her lack of trying. She tried. We were in the kitchen. I was peeling the potatoes. She was like, "Pay attention. I'm not going to be cooking forever." And I was like, peeling my potatoes, trying not to cut my fingers, and like just completely skipped that generation. Well, this generation, it skipped this one. It's it passed me. It, I put my hands up. If it was illegal to not know every recipe that your mom tried to teach you, I would be in jail. And maybe this is my version of frickin' jail. It's like a purgatory because I'm like, I even explained this in one of my videos yesterday. It's like acne is like being in a room that's on fire, and all you have to do is calm down. All you have to do is be like, oh, it's fine. If I get burned, it's fine. Like, it's fine. And then it'll go away. But you're in the room on fire. You think I could just do that? You think my anxiety is gonna let me sit there and be like, everything's fine? No, and I'm not the only person that struggles with anxiety. Like I've said, I went to the mental hospital. I was diagnosed with anxiety. I was diagnosed with depression, like literal depression. Like they said, and even when I would go to like my meetings with my therapist and my school meetings with my therapist, they would be like, depression doesn't go away. It's manageable. The same way acne doesn't go away. It's manageable. And I have such a fire in my soul to just go to the comments every time I see somebody, drink spearmint tea, your acne will go away. Drink bone broth. Don't drink dairy. Don't eat dairy. Don't just relax. Just regulate your nervous system. Like, it's easy. And I know, like, some people are like, it's not easy. It takes work. It does take work. And then half the time I'm working, I'm stressing because it's not freaking working because I'm working. I'm doing the work. My body's not appreciating the work. It's not absorbing the work that I'm doing. It's not being like, oh, we thank you so much for doing this work. It's like, you think this is the little voice in my head's like, you think this is gonna work? Try the next thing. Try the next thing. Do another one. Another one. Like, literally. And this is the type of heated, this is the type of mad I want to get on my TikTok, but like it doesn't really register with everybody. Like, I think the best thing I could do is like cry sometimes because I just get so frustrated. Like literally this morning when I was crying, I was like, I just wanna, like, people are like, oh, like exercise, like incorporate exercise into your life, and I don't like regular exercise. I don't like sitting there doing squats or like running on a treadmill. Like I go on walks, I do walks, but I want to box. I want to freaking punch something. Like I am violent. I am, and it's so fun. Look at how skinny I am. Look at how skinny I am. You probably can't really notice because I'm wearing all black, but skinny, skinny. And this is not saying, oh, look at how skinny I am. I'm so tiny and I'm so fragile. Like I'm so small and I'm just so small. No, I'm saying that's how small I am. And literally all I want to do is get a punching bag, rip off my nails, just rip them off, just aggressively rip them off, and get, even if I don't have punching gloves or boxing gloves or whatever, I just want to physically do this all the time. All the time. Just all the time. Even that made me feel better. That made me feel better. I feel better. Try it. Try it out. Just punch air. So sick of this. So tired. I eat clean. I take the supplements. I drink bone broth. I'm drinking a brown freaking, well, it turned brown now, but it was a banana smoothie. And then somebody made a comment on my TikTok. They were like, watch out for bananas. They have a lot of sugar. I can't enjoy anything. I can't enjoy anything. And trust me, I don't eat cookies anymore. I don't eat chips. Sometimes I just like cry because like my boyfriend, he could eat everything. He can eat anything he wants. He can eat something out of the garbage. And he'd just be like, fine. I literally sit there and just like stare at him. He'll eat like a brownie. I'd be like, oh, it looks so good. Please don't eat that in front of me. We go grocery shopping, I'm just like, I miss eating hot Cheetos. Like, I just miss it. Like, I know it's not good for me. Even when I was eating them, I knew they weren't good for me, but it was so enjoyable, that experience. And I think having acne is like FOMO on repeat. It's like, you know you're missing out. It's not even fear of missing out. It's like, you know you're missing out. But yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna end it. That's my first video. That is my story on how I got my modeling contract. That is my story on how my acne progressed to this level. I'll probably go in on my next video and tell you guys the different types of people I went to, and I'll show you, and this is nothing bad about them, because they've even showed me, and that's something that made me want to go to them, because they showed me real life results of people that they helped, and some of the people looked worse than me. Did it help me? No. It didn't. Did it make me 10 times more anxious to trust somebody else? Yeah, it did. But yeah, that's for the next video. But yeah, that's my story on how my acne started, the things I've been trying to do to help it, and me just getting angry. And maybe that is something that I should start doing. Maybe that is. Maybe boxing is in my future. Not in like the ring or something. Just practicing and showing you guys somebody skinny doing it. Because most of the people I see is like, they're like built and they're, but I'm just like, I'm built in my brain angry. I'm just built mad, like a pit bull. Like I'm ready to fight. And I'm not even fighting somebody else. I'm fighting myself. I'm fighting my demons. But yeah, I love you guys. And if you watched this video, I appreciate you. And if you got this far, please like and subscribe. And even if you just started watching it, I'm going to put this in the front of the video. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate you. I'm really trying to build myself and just build a platform for people to come to and feel safe and feel heard. I get it. Acne is stressful. Acne is hard. I'm not going to be one of those people where it's like, make this smoothie. It's going to help you. Like, I'm going to drink the smoothie. I'm going to show you what I did to make it. And maybe it helps me eventually. Like, this is probably like I don't make these every day. I don't do this every day. But I also am going to a doctor in January when I move back to LA. And I'm going to a dentist appointment. I'm going to do a vlog of a dentist appointment because I have not been to the dentist in an embarrassing long time because I'm just scared of the amount it's going to cost. I'm scared of dentists in general. But that's another video. I'm giving you too many teasers. But am I getting you excited? Are you excited for what I have to share with you guys? Like, yeah, I'm excited to share it. But cheers if you're having a smoothie. Good morning or good night wherever you are, or good afternoon, top of the day. Yeah, but thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. And my name is Alice. No. Yeah, my name, well, no, my name's not Alice. My name on here is Acne on Wonderland because, like, you can call me Wonderland if you want because I'm a little crazy. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go edit this freaking hour-long video now. Try and make it as short as possible, but still to the point where you could leave it on for a minute and like do your chores or something. I don't know. That's what I do, honestly, with a lot of videos. But I'm excited to make more. Bye.